Hello, welcome. Today we're going to be continuing my series of swatching all of my magnetic single shadows, and we're on to the chapter where I swatch all of my hot, dark, and dusty pinks. I also have a lot of light pinks, but I feel like it kind of suits it better to separate them. So today's kind of like part one of pinks, and then pretty soon I'll have up my part two of pinks, my light pinks. I'm really excited for these though. I haven't filmed it yet. I feel like even though it looks like kind of a lot in the palette, they are kind of different enough to the point that I don't know how many I'll be decluttering, but the objective, as always, isn't necessarily to declutter. It's just to know my collection more and make sure I like everything. So if there's similar colors that I like all of them, then I can keep it. I'm not trying to punish myself. So yeah, let's switch over to my hands and let's see all of these babies in action. I wanted to wear my pink sweatpants today, but I couldn't find them despite owning two pairs. But what I can offer instead is my cat's foot in the frame. So these are all my hot pinks, dusty pinks, my cat's snoring. I don't really have a rhyme or reason for this because I feel like a lot of them are different. Maybe we'll just do all the mattes and then all the shimmers as we have been doing. Okay, so I'll start with one that I know is very unique in here and I like it. This is Meraki from Divina. It's just kind of like a mauve. I like it because it kind of functions as a color, or like what I did today, I used a really light layer to be a transition and that worked too. So I like the versatility of this, and clearly very unique in my collection. Next I have this hot pink. It's depotted from the Jeffree Star Blood Sugar palette. Still comes up pretty nicely. Yeah, I think I'm satisfied with that. I also have this hot pink from Glaminatrix. It's the shade Petal. I really like this tone. I'd say it's pretty similar to the Jeffree Star one, but the Jeffree Star one's a little bit more blue based than that one is. And I think this is going to be another step deeper. This is from Give Me Glow. It's Raspberry Cheesecake. I also use this today. Yeah, that one's like a step bolder. The next two I'm going to swatch are ColourPop. This one is For Sure. I can feel the little rough bubbles in it. That one's definitely more of a reddish pink. This shade I love. It's Sincerely from ColourPop. It feels a little rough in the pan also, but the pigment is still super nice. I just love that color. If I could only pick one of these, I would probably be Sincerely, but Meraki would be tough to let go of also. On to the deeper ones. Let's do this one first. It's from Glaminatrix, the shade Adore. This was a color that I wanted because it reminded me of my Norvina Volume 4 palette, which I also love, but for some reason needed the same colors of in single shadows. Really like it. This one's from Luxie. It's the shade Boss. Just a little bit deeper and more berry than the Glaminatrix one is. This one's from Divina. It's the shade Tessenda. Descenda also looks really similar, and I'm fine with that. Then another one from Divina. This is Virago. A little bit deeper, but pretty similar to that Luxie one. And then the last one for the mattes is Sweet Bitch from Give Me Glow. I'd say this one's a lot more burgundy than those other ones are. So those are all my mattes. It didn't help with my overcrowding issue in this specific palette, but that's okay. I like all of them, and that's what I'm aiming for. So I'm going to wipe these off, and then we'll get into the shimmers. Okay, for the shimmers, I think I'm going to start with the more bold ones and then kind of work my way out. I guess I'll start with the one that I know is the most unique. This is Smolder from Cleona. It was part of my first purchase from them. I've since learned that the jeweled multichromes? They just don't suit my makeup method the best. I think they're really impressive, incredible shadows, but I don't like to wear eye makeup that's so dark that a black base multi-chrome kind of fits in. But I'm still happy to have a couple of them. I think I have like 4 maybe of the jeweled ones. But this is really pretty. It's like a hot pink, but it shifts to green and I think bronze also. So that's that. When I look at it right now, it just looks green, but it's a really impressive shadow. Next, we'll go down here for this one from Give Me Glow. This is Valentine's Red. This also might have been more suited with my reds than with the pink, but I always kind of thought of it as a hot pink. But yeah, I like the formula in this one. It's nice. It's kind of like a metallic, but it's really pretty. This one I have on my eyes today. This is Lily from Menagerie. I really like their shimmer formula. It's kind of just like, I mean, I think of it as metallics, but this one looks pretty shimmery. I'm not sure if it's really translating, but it looks really shimmery to my eye. Next to it, I have this Adept one. This was in the original Plain Jane palette. It's ACI 12. I think also she might have swapped this out even before the remastered came out. I really like this color though. It's a nice sparkly, kind of like almost sheer hot pink. This next one, I'm just not going to take it out because I know what it is. It's Jellyfish from Give Me Glow. It's kind of like a purplish, like a magenta. Definitely has some like blue reflect in it. Really pretty. And then up here we have Cygnus from Divina. I kind of don't know where to put this one either because I used to think of it more as like a red bronze, and now I kind of think of it as more like a pink bronze. But either way, I know I like it, so the classifications don't matter exactly. It looks really bronze in my eye. Oh, it looks pretty bronze here also. Really pretty. And then up here we have Macaroon from JD Glow. This one's pretty unique because it's like a pink, but it has so much micro sparkle in it. I don't know if any of these are really showing up like they should here. But I think this is the kind of shadow you might just not get it until you see it in person. It's like a pink base with a ton of gold shimmer in it. Next we have a ColourPop one that I've had for so long, and I don't know if it's just that I have an emotional attachment to it or if it actually is like a good shade. It's Paradiso. I think sometimes I'm kind of realizing, like especially more so now, that I'm a little bit more forgiving with deeper shades because I'm just using them to deeper my outer corner. So I don't need them to have the same shine and reflectance that I need my lid shade to have. This looks very unshimmery. You know, I think I'm going to declutter it because I think that it's so similar to those mattes. Like, let's just swatch, what, Tisenda? I'm pretty sure this is Tisenda. Maybe I should do Boss. I get the same effect with one of those that I get from that. Like, I feel like you couldn't even tell it was shimmer on camera if I didn't tell you. So, yeah, decluttering this one. From all the shadow declutters I've filmed so far, my ColourPop shades are really taking a beating. The matte ones I like, it's just the shimmer ones just don't do what my other indie shadows are doing for me nowadays. I am happy to have an empty space though, because there's another one I want to stick in here. This, I had a video go up about this really recently. It's the Terra Moons and Urban Outfitters collab, and this shade is called Aries, and I really like it, and it belongs in this palette. Really pretty. I'll try to link that video down below. I did an eye swatch of it in that video and you could see it a little bit more clearly, but I really like that one. Okay, next let's do Ruby Stars from Terra Moons. Not sure if this one's still available, but I really like it. Has some nice shine to it. And then this one from Shine by SD might be one of my favorites in my collection. This is Hottie, and it's just so bright. I dug my nail in it the other day, which I'm really sad about, but I mean, it still has so much. It's just so bright that I don't know if it's going to like translate that well. It's like a hot neon pink with like a little bit of like an orangey bronze shift. I think the only one kind of similar to it is Lily from Menagerie, but Lily's just like a what you see is what you get kind of shadow. And this one glows. Next we have Anastasia from Give Me Glow. This one I remember having a really nice formula. Yeah, I kind of forget about this shade, but I like it a lot. And I think that's a good comparison for the next little batch down here. These are kind of what I think of as more like my dusty pinks. This one's from Cleona. It's the shade Rose Line. It's probably in my bottom third or quarter of my Cleona shadows. I just feel like it doesn't like do as much for me. Maybe it's just the color, but the formula is really nice. Yeah, I think I just kind of think of it that way because of my relationship with the color. Okay, let's go down here next. This is a Luxie one. This is Dark Side of the Moon. I was trying this out a little bit in February and I kind of just like can't get my bearings on it. I think the formula is really nice. I don't know how I feel about the color. It looks more like it does in the pan in the camera, but like to my eye, it looks very antique gold green. It's such a nice formula. I'm gonna hold on to it. The formula is too nice to like pass it up right now, but I do want to remember going forward that I don't need to keep things in my collection just because they're unique shades, because I don't need to personally own every shade in existence for my needs. Okay, let's do a ColourPop one next. This one I've had even longer than Paradiso. This is Pinky Promise. This one doesn't look so bad. Okay, I'm keeping that one. I remember when I got Paradiso, I thought it was like a brighter, nicer version of this. But this, I just like the formula better. This next one is from Sydney Grace. It's the shade Siren. Their shimmers are super hit or miss for me. I guess all their shadows are really hit or miss for me. But I remember this one being a nice one. Yeah, it's a nice like chromy metallic. It really picks up the light. That actually looks really pretty. I think this next one's also Sydney Grace. This is Go For It. It's like a little bit more of a taupe. Yeah, they're not too far off from each other, but I like the formula of both of them. And then the final one is Crimson Rose from Luxie. This was in the Butterfly Kisses collection, I believe. Pretty similar to those other two down there. I want to say it's like a little bit more blue, but it is pretty similar, but I'm keeping it. So these are the shimmers. They are very different. I'm happy that I decluttered that one. Really pretty. There actually is one more swatch comparison I want to do. So the last video in the series that I believe I posted was this one about my reds and oranges. And since filming that, I got the Urban Outfitters Terra Moons bundle, and it has this gorgeous red that I really love called Harvest Moon. Really, really bright and pretty. Well, let's swatch it there. Okay, we see the prettiness? Okay. I want to compare it to Spiked from Terra Moons. I did that in the video where I swatched those Terra Moons ones, but I'm kind of thinking I want to declutter Spiked. It's pretty similar, just like a little bit less of a sparkly finish. Yeah, I'm going to declutter Spiked. So that is everything for today. And I'm happy to know that I really do like all of these other shadows that I have in this part of my collection. Okay, and that was everything. Let me just tell you a little bit about my makeup. On my eyes, I have Menagerie Lily, and then in my outer corners, I have Valentine's Red from Give Me Glow, and then the mattes I have are Meraki from Divina, Raspberry Cheesecake from Divina, and Boss from Luxie. Oh, and I think on my lower lash line I have Ruby Stars from Terra Moons. So I kind of crammed a lot of them on here, but that's fun. I hope this was enjoyable. If you did enjoy this, please give me a like and subscribe. It really means a lot to me. And there's way more single shadow swatch parties on the way, including the other half of my pink shadows, which will be up next in this series. Maybe not the next video, but like the next in this series. Yeah. Either way, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Bye.